We're going to stay to the left. Just kind of check your mirrors, make sure nobody's coming up on us again. I'll go to fourth gear. Even if you don't think you need to make the shift, please make those gear changes as I call them out anyway, just so that we have those down. That'll be one less thing you have to think about when we start to really pick up the pace tomorrow. As I approach turn 2, I'm going to drop down to third gear just before I get to the turning cone. We're going all the way in nice and tight on the apex curve. We're unwind down to the white line on the left side, and we're going up to fourth gear. I want to be right next to the curving as I come down the drop right there. You can use that white near apex cone as a reference. We're going to go all the way out to our turning cone here on the left side. I'm going to put the right side on the curb at the top of the hill and follow it all the way down the back side of the hill. All the way out to the white line on the left, and we'll go up to fifth gear. Occasionally I'll remind you to wiggle your fingers and just take a deep breath. Make sure you're nice and relaxed. We're going to go back to fourth gear before we turn into turn 5 here. I'm pushing into the steering wheel with my left palm. I'm looking for the apex cone. I'm going to meet the curve just before I get to the cone. And then we can start to unwind out to the left side where I'll brush the white line and we'll start to brake from that braking cone. I'm going to drop down to third gear just before I add some steering here. We should be in the middle of the pavement as you enter the corner, all the way up on the curve before the cone. Everyone should be in third gear. A little bit of brake pressure here, Tim, coming into turn 8, all the way in nice and tight. And then back to our turning cone for turn 9. Looking to the right, patient on the throttle, get to the apex curve, and then gently unwind. As you're unwinding out, you can start to accelerate, and we're going to fourth gear. A little bit of brake pressure here, turn 10, just to set the front end down to help the car turn. So I'm going to pick up the pace a little bit here. I'm in fourth gear, heading for turn 1. On the brakes in a nice straight line. I'm going to carry the brakes into the corner for balance. And I'm looking to the left for the apex. Try to touch the curve right where that curve begins, then turn 1 there, and then unwind out to the right. Start to accelerate as you unwind out. Remember, you're putting your car in the same tracks I'm making here. Back down to third gear, turn 2. Look to the right. Start looking for the white line as you turn into the corner on the exit, right? Back to fourth gear, all the way out to the turn in. We'll add a little bit of steering and then straight line down the drop right next to the curve. A little bit of brake pressure here coming into turn 4. Again, we're going to put the right side on the curve at the top, follow it all the way down the back side, and then all the way out to the white line on the left. Then we're going to go to fifth gear. Heading for turn 5, I'll downshift just before I get to the turning cone, back and forth, balancing with the brakes into the corner, just being patient on the throttle. I'll actually coast into the apex curve there before I start to accelerate again. Back on the brakes, heading for turn 6, I'm going to drop down to third gear. I'm looking out my driver's side window. Again, just being patient on the throttle, turn the wheel as much as you need to get to that curve. Making my way through turn 7 here. As I come out of 7, I'll squeeze a little bit of brake pressure, bring it in nice and tight on the left side, and then I'll accelerate off of turn 8, heading for turn 9. Don't hold the steering super tight there, coming out of turn 8. Should still be in third gear, coming out of turn 9. We're going to fourth gear. No brake pressure, turning in. Alright, straight line on the brakes. Still in fourth gear. Notice, Tim, I'm still on the brakes, rolling in turn 1. All the way in onto the apex curve there on the left. And then start to accelerate as you unwind out. Bring it out nice and wide to the right. There you go. Back down to third gear. Look to the right. All the way in nice and tight. Start looking for the white line. I'm going to fourth gear, all the way out by the turn in on the left, and again, straighten that wheel up coming down the drop. A little bit of brake pressure here, turn 4. Put it up on the curb on the right. Start looking for the white line out here on the left side as you press that hill. Going up to fifth gear. Start your braking nice and early. Back down to fourth gear and stay on the brakes as you turn in. Again, I'm just coasting through that last third of turn 5 there. Try to be on the white line on the left side by the braking cone down to third gear. Notice I'm in the middle of the pavement here, bringing it in nice and tight all the way up on the apex curve. Little brake pressure here. I'm starting to turn to the left almost immediately out of turn 7. So let it unwind. Accelerate off the corner. Give it a little throttle. Still in third gear. Look out your passenger window. Look for the apex. Look for the exit here, turn 9. Back to fourth gear. Little brake pressure, turn 10. As soon as I get to the curve, I'll start to accelerate off the corner. We're just going to touch that seam in the pavement on the left side and then gently bring it back to the right. So I'm looking for the turn-in cone over here. Now balancing with the brakes, looking at my driver's side window. I'm going to move my eyes back and forth. Look to the left, look out front, look to the left, look out front. Now follow me out, nice and smooth. On the throttle, accelerate off the corner. Don't go quite that far out. I appreciate you unwinding, but you don't want to go off the track out there. Should be in third gear. We're going back to fourth gear. Start looking for that white near apex at the bottom of the drop here. It's a good visual reference point. Little brake pressure. We're going all the way in onto the curving again here. We're going to do one more lap before we rotate all the way out to the left, up to fifth gear. So you kind of wiggle your fingers. Make sure you're nice and relaxed. We're going back to fourth gear, turn 5. Stay on the brakes as you turn in. Make sure that you're not popping off of that brake pedal. Try not to overslow the car too. You want to use the brakes, but not a lot of brake pressure. You should be on that white line as you pass the braking cone back down to third gear. Look to the left. Alright, coming out of turn 8. Notice I'm not hugging that left side right there. And looking to the right. Turn as soon as the front of the car gets to the turn-in cone, turn 9. Alright, back to fourth gear, heading for turn 10. A little bit of brake pressure. Looking for the turn-in cone up here on the right side. Nice straight line. We're going to be on the brakes. We're going to stay in fourth gear. And we'll start looking out the driver's side window for the apex of turn 1. Try to touch that blue and white curve again, right where it begins, and then follow me out here. Yeah, don't go too far. You want to unwind out, but we don't want to go way out there. Down to third gear, turn 2, looking to the right. Back to fourth gear, we'll add a little bit of steering from the turn-in cone, nice straight line coming down the drop. Alright, Tim, we are going to do a rotation as we come off of turn 4 here. So I'm going to slow down a little bit. I'm going to have you stay through. Actually, matter of fact, I'm going to have you stop just past these double orange cones right here. Jeff and Alan, we're going to keep the pace down. You guys are going to come around Tim. And then we're going to pull over to the right, and we're all going to stop because Jordan's group is going quite a bit slower than we are, and we don't want to be held up by them. So you can use this opportunity to make any adjustments to your seat or your air conditioning controls if you need to. Adjust your volume if you need to. Just, again, make sure you're nice and relaxed. Wiggle your fingers. Just watching Jordan's group go through turn 9 over there. We're going to make sure he's got plenty of distance. I can see the last couple cars there are just going into turn 8.
This is Alan. For the numbered braking Brembo signs, where would you recommend we start braking? 3, 2, 1?
Yeah, usually around the 3, but it really depends how fast you're going. You kind of need to determine that. We're going to continue on here, fellas, but I would say at the latest down this straightaway at the 3, you could use that as a reference point, maybe even a little before that. So, Jeff, just a reminder, you are putting your car in the same tracks I'm making. I'm in 4th gear right now as we come out of turn 5, heading for turn 6. I'm on the brake, down to 3rd gear, look to the left. Put it all the way up on the curb, just before the cone. Low brake pressure here, turn 8, again, all the way up on the apex curve. We'll accelerate off the corner, all the way out to the turn in and look to the right. Lots of steering, patient on the throttle until you start to unwind out. Then we'll go to 4th gear. So I'm pushing into the wheel with my left palm. That's pushing my shoulders back in the seat. So I'm not leaning in the car. We're going to stay in 4th gear. Looking to the left, just keep tightening it up as you roll through the corner so you can get to that curve, and then we'll accelerate out the corner. We're going to drop back down to 3rd gear, turn 2, look to the right, all the way up on the apex curve. Try not to use the exit curve, you're just going out to the white line, 4th gear, down the drop. Little brake pressure, looking for the top of the hill here, turn 4. Then start looking for the white line on the exit out here on the left. Get all the way out, just touch the white line, and up to 5th gear. Back down to 4th gear, turn 5. Balancing with that brake pedal into this corner. Patient on the throttle. I'm coasting through the middle of turn 5. So Tim, just drive at a pace that you're comfortable with. Keep it on the pavement. We're going to do a couple laps, and then we'll gather up and we'll do another rotation. Jeff and Alan, you guys should be in 3rd gear. Alright, on the brakes, looking to the right, turn 9. Again, as soon as the front of the car gets to the turn-in cone, that's where you're going to want to start the turn. Back to 4th gear, heading to turn 10, low brake pressure here. Alright, looking to the left. Alright, 3rd gear. Looking to the right. 4th gear, straight wheel coming down the drop. So, Jeff, we're going to have to pull over and stop because we have caught Jordan's group again. We're going to get a lot more space here this next time. We're not going to rotate. We're just getting space because we will be held up by them. As you can see, they're going into turn 6 over there. So we'll divide the groups up accordingly tomorrow. So we won't hopefully we won't have to stop like this. We'll get some good runs down the straight. Again, this session really is just all about getting comfortable out here, learning the shift points, figuring out where to place the car. So I've asked Jordan to let us know when he is in turn 2, and when he does, we're gonna get after it pretty good because he's gonna be coming up on us, and I don't want to hold him up. Just try to be smooth with your control inputs, nice gentle steering inputs, nice smooth transitions with your foot between the brake and the throttle. All right, let's continue on, fellas. Alright, so I'm already up into 4th gear here, Jeff, rolling through turn 5. looking for this apex. I'll lift out of the throttle if I need to get the car to turn in. Just setting a little weight on the front end. Now we're on the brakes. Down to 30, look to the left. Turn 7. Everyone should be in third gear. A little bit of brake pressure here, Jeff. Turn 8, all the way in nice and tight. Accelerate off the corner a little bit. After I turn in and look to the right. Alright, fourth gear, heading for turn 10. All the way out to that seat, looking to the right. Balancing with that brake pedal into turn 1, looking to the left. Again, just kind of coasting through the middle, not really trying to accelerate or brake. Back down to third gear, turn 2. Alright, we're going to do another lap here, Jeff, because we got held up. Fifth gear. Alright, fellas, so JJ, you guys should be in fifth gear going down that long straight. I'm trying to call out the shoot points. Maybe I'm not being clear, but you're all holding the gears too long. JJ's standing over there telling me basically all three of you hit the rev limiter going down the long straightaway, so don't do that. Should be in third gear here, Jeff. Alright, everyone should be in third gear for the entry of 6 until right now, coming out of turn 9. Back to fourth gear. All the way into the apex curve. Don't go all the way out for the exit curving. You're only going to that crack in the pavement there, so you're unwinding a little further than you need to there, Jeff. Still in fourth gear, looking to the left. Alright, I'm going to drop down to third gear here just before I turn into turn 2. Back to fourth gear. Straight wheel down the drop, next to the curve. Alright, so we are going to do a rotation. Jeff, we're going to bring the pace down. I'm going to have you stop just past that first set of double orange cones. Alan, you're going to stay behind me, and you're also going to bring the pace down. We're going to gather everybody up here. Matter of fact, Alan, you can stay with me here. So when Tim comes around the corner, Jeff, he's going to come by you and pull in behind Alan. So Tim, you're coming around the red car. Alan, you and I are going to get going. Tim, you can stay to the left. And Jeff, you're bringing out the back at this point. Keep on rolling here, fellas. So Alan, I'm in fourth gear. Just a reminder, you're trying to put your car in the same track that I'm making. Coming out of turn 5, we're going to start to brake right at that braking cone. Down to third gear, balancing into the corner. You need to lift out of the throttle to get it to turn. You can do that. Use a little brake pressure. Turn 8. Alright, still in third gear. We're going to fourth gear, heading to turn 10. Little brake pressure. Again, just to set that front end down, help it turn. Staying in fourth gear, all the way out to our turning cone. Lots of brake pressure. Looking to the left. Unwinding out nice and smooth. We're going to drop down to third gear and look to the right. Look for the exit point in the corner. Nice straight wheel coming down the drop, all the way out to our turning cone. A little bit of brake pressure. Should be in fourth gear. We're going to gear, down the long straight, wiggle your fingers. And I'll start braking a little bit before that 3 down to 4th gear again, Alan. Use the throttle to help turn the car. Lift down if you need to get into that apex curve. So, Tim and Jeff, you guys can go to 5th gear down that long straight and then back to 4th gear into turn 5. Alan, we should be in 3rd gear right through here. You can squeeze a little brake here to get that car change direction. Alright, back to 4th gear, turn 10. A little bit of brake. Start looking for that turning cone up here on the right. Nice straight line on the brake. Looking to the left. Back to 3rd gear. Turn 2. Alright, Alan, so I can see we've caught Jordan's room again. Let's bring the pace down. We'll stay to the right here. We still have one more lap to do, but we're going to have to wait a bit. Alright, fellas, lines are looking pretty good. Alan, you can use this opportunity to adjust your seat or your air conditioning again. Make sure you're nice and relaxed here. You can pull up behind me. We're going to squeeze. Everybody's going to stay together here. So, yeah, Tim and Jeff, you guys can stay to the right. We'll bring the pace down. Should be in 5th gear going down this straightaway. By the way, fellas. So you should be upshifting out of turn 2 back there to 4th gear and carrying 4th gear down that drop all the way through turn 4 and out onto this long straight and then going to 5th gear. And so JJ's calling me, telling me that some of you are carrying 3rd gear and hitting the rev limiter down through here. So you don't want to do that, right? We want to be up into 4th gear before we come down the drop. Alright, fellas, let's get going. He's coming around the corner right now. Gonna do one more hot lap. Alright, Alan, 4th gear, turn 5. On the throttle, be on the white line on the left over here. On the brakes, down to 3rd gear. Use that brake pedal. Trying to get the car slowed down and balanced. We'll brake into turn 8. Nice and early on the brakes for turn 9. Got a little brake pressure there for turn 10. Down nice and early for turn 1. Looking through the corner. Be patient on the throttle. Make sure you get to the apex there. Make sure you're unwinding out. So you just gave up a lot of momentum right there, Alan, holding that corner so tight on the exit. Back to 4th gear. Nice straight line down the drop. So we're going to bring the pace down. Actually, let's go ahead and do a rotation. We are going to start a cool down. So, Alan, I'm going to have you move to the right for me. Stop. And Tim and Jeff, you guys can stay to the left. You're going to come around Alan. And we'll finish up this lap. We'll do kind of a lap and a half cool down. So a slower pace, better opportunity to make that perfect lap. We should look like a train going around this track right now. Remind yourself to keep your eyes up, looking ahead, right? Don't stare at the back bumper of the car right in front of you, but try to put your car in the same tracks. I'll squeeze a little brake pressure right here, bring it in nice and tight up on the curve. I'll accelerate off the corner. Don't hold that real tight on the left side coming out of turn 8. There you go. Good job, fellas. All three of you did that nicely. Just unwinding out to the dotted white line. I'm already looking through turn 10, looking for the exit point. Normally I would upshift to fourth gear. I'll squeeze just a little bit of brake, all the way in, get to the apex, and then I'm back on the throttle coming out of here, right? I'm just going to touch that steam on the left side, and I'm looking for the turn-in cone up here on the right. Nice straight line on the brakes, getting the car slowed down, but I'm going to stay on the brakes as I turn in, put some weight on those front tires just to balance. Getting to the curb, and then I'm on the throttle. Unwinding out, don't go too far, but you want to carry momentum off that corner. Don't hold the steering past the apex. Normally I downshift back to third. I'm looking for this white line. Normally go back to fourth gear. Right next to the turn-in cone, we'll add a little bit of steering and then straighten it up just before you come down the drop. Again, I'll squeeze normally a little bit of brake pressure right here just to help the car turn, really not trying to slow down. And then all the way out to the left side, make sure you're carrying that momentum off of turn 4 there. I'll give myself a little space. Notice I'm not right on the edge of the track as I go down the straightaway in case I have a tire go down or if I look at my gauges and accidentally turn the wheel until I get back here to the turn-in. Then I'm on the white line on the left, just stretching the corner out as much as I can. I'll lift out of the throttle. I'm coasting through this section, and then I'll start to roll back into the throttle as I approach the apex cone there. And then all the way over to the left. Make sure you're on the white line. Start the brakes on the brake control. Normally we downshift. I'm looking out my driver's side window more than I'm looking out the windshield through here until the apex comes into view out front. You don't want to hold the right side coming out of turn 7. I'm in the middle and I'm starting to bring it back to the left almost immediately to get up on this apex, and then again we'll accelerate